A self-made billionaire, H. Ross Perot is considered one of the first tech entrepreneurs. This plain-spoken Texan who worked for IBM then founded Electronic Data Systems, aka EDS. A company that sought to merge software and hardware, was at the very nexus of facilities management and IT. But most remember Perot as the independent candidate for the president in 1992. The three-way race against then-President George H.W. Bush and a little-known governor from Arkansas named Bill Clinton. It was a legendary election. By the summer of '92, a Gallup poll had Perot leading the poll against his rivals.
Crazy.
In the end, he won no electoral votes, but he received almost 19% of the popular vote, the fact that may have cost the incumbent George H.W. Bush the presidency. But it netted a victory for Bill Clinton. Perot once said of the political scene, quote, "War has rules, mud wrestling has rules, politics has no rules." He ran again in 1996 as a Reform Party candidate. Ross Perot was 89 years old, and in retrospect, he was right about a lot of things.
Well, and really was a pioneer of the sort of Trump worldview. And if he hadn't dropped, there was that thing at the end of the where he dropped down and he was back in
blackmail.
And that's what, and that's when his poll numbers sank. But he, I mean, if he had stayed in and stayed the course, there was a chance that he was going to win. That was wild times. Definitely a pioneer. Rest in peace. So a federal judge has blocked a Department of Justice request to change the entire legal team responsible for handling a case on the controversial census citizenship question in federal court in New York. We've been covering this here quite a lot. U.S. District Judge Jesse Furman ruled that the DOJ's motion failed to address a procedural rule that requires them to provide a reason why the attorneys were leaving the case. Furman, an Obama appointee, wrote that the government's filing offered, quote, "no reasons for the change in counsel, let alone the satisfactory reasons that are required by the rule." The judge's ruling stemmed from a challenge to the change in the government's legal team that was filed on Monday. The DOJ had announced the changes on Sunday, but did not provide a reason for doing so, leading to speculation that some of the lawyers may have simply refused to continue working on this disgusting monstrosity of a case. Judge Furman's ruling would allow the government to try to withdraw the attorneys again in the future. Once again, Sagar, incompetence at its finest.
Such a mess. I have no words for how annoyed this makes me. The judicial branch of the government has a message for the president: don't at me. So a federal appeals court ruled yesterday that the president is constitutionally prohibited from blocking people on Twitter. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled unanimously, since the president uses the account to make public announcements on personnel, policy, and upcoming events, it is a violation of the First Amendment to block people from the president's Twitter. The opinion read in part, quote, "Once the president has chosen a platform and opened up its interactive space to millions of users and participants, he may not selectively exclude those whose views he disagrees with." The suit, which was filed by the Knight First Amendment Institute at Columbia University on behalf of 7 Twitter users who the president previously had blocked, is quickly having an impact beyond the White House. 2 separate lawsuits have already been filed against New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez over her use of the block button.
Lot at work there. Number one, where does it stop? Like, who is a public official? Like, where does that end? And then also a lot of implications for whether Twitter is truly a private space where they can do whatever they want, or whether there are free speech implications here. So
really interesting. Pro tip: use the mute button. Tomorrow on Rising, senior advisor and speechwriter for Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign, David Sirota, is back to give us an update, and the host of Pseudo-Intellectual, Lauren Chen, is going to stop by.
And also, teenage climate change activist Alexandria Villaseñor is going to join us. As always, Team Rising will be in the house. We know you love them. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy Hump Day. We'll see you tomorrow.